using that spider box unless we need to.
Hey, Luke Zimmer. I'm a cinematographer based here in Bremerton, Washington. I'm working for an audio event company called Flamingo Audio, and we're doing a gig for the Mike Tice Foundation. Every year they get together and raise a bunch of money for local inner city kids and trying to get kids in football programs have an outlet. Mike Tice is a former Seattle Seahawks, I believe, offensive lineman. This is the first time I got to meet him. Seems like a really cool guy, and he loves putting this event together, so that was cool to be a part of. The basic setup was 4 towers around the stage and the dance floor, and on top of each tower we have an intimidator, a mover, and then in the center we have a mirror ball. There's a bunch of little babies and smaller lights hanging off the towers, but for the most part 6 movers was all we had to manage via DMX. Oh, I forgot, around the room there actually are a bunch of babies set up. So that was a fun room to wrangle together. Another company came in, they ran the cameras. We didn't have a chance to go and talk to them. I ran into the dance floor before they let everyone in, just to give you a look at our final lighting setup. Very retro. Really, at the end of the night when we were tearing down, that was the most work of the day. Got that finished, and then the next day I headed to a meetup with some of the AOD guys. I had to get ready for another trip to Ellensburg, where Dylan and I are shooting a feature film this summer.
Still figuring out how I want to load this bad boy. Each time I feel like I do it a little bit different. But I learned on the Sequest trip that keeping all the weight over the wheels, just like you do in the back of a truck or a trailer, makes it way more stable, a lot less swaying on the highway. So got all the heavy cases in the middle, stands in the back, and since I put the new wheels on, the cart is just a little bit too long to fit side to side. It used to fit just perfect. It's a little too long, so I think I'll put it on long ways. Just need to move this guy.
Just had a little rest stop. Starting to get tired on the drive. Just about 3.5 hours today with traffic. So my brain was getting a little bit foggy. But we're back on the road, ready to rock and roll. So we just made it through the pass. We're about to go through the gorge over the Columbia, and then we're pretty much in Ellensburg. I have a little bit of editing I need to get done, so as soon as I get in, I'm gonna pop into Dylan's apartment and just work on some wedding edits, and then once he gets off work, we'll start prepping for tomorrow's shoot. I'm really excited to show some behind the scenes from tomorrow's shoot. It's in this cool art gallery. We're gonna do just a little bit of Steadicam work, but mostly everything will be on sticks. So it's gonna make for an awesome day. Okay, enough rambling. Let's do this. Sweet. In pre-production, we talked about shooting this whole movie like a documentary. Very run and gun, very rough, no lighting, and just minimal crew all the time. Well, we've kept aspects of that. We kind of talked ourselves out of that for most of our scenes. We are trying to have very motivated, emotional lighting and tell the story in our cinematography as well as the performances. So while we are keeping our setups pretty simple, we had a bit of crew to come help us out and make this scene work. It was incredibly fun to shoot in this live art gallery. Thank you again to Gallery 1. We all just had an awesome time. Just getting shots of the painting. On the first day, we had to shoot a conversation scene between 5 characters, but one of our actors couldn't be there. So we ended up shooting around them. We had them a stand-in reading for them, and we shot everyone else's coverage. Then took pictures of the marks, and the next day we got them in and we shot their coverage for that conversation. We've done that quite a bit on this movie, just shooting out of continuity, and that's helped us keep the budget low and work with other people's schedules. For a couple of our shots, we put a light up in the bathroom to shine through that window and get some shape on the wall outside. We couldn't put a stand in there though because it's an active bathroom. So skyhook onto a 2x4 in the little attic was the way to go. Also, on this day we were shooting some of the Steadicam stuff, so we used that faux RE Trinity setup. I've been calling it the Minotaur. It's very difficult to use, so I still need a prototype and work out some of those bugs.
Have the cart set up in Dylan's apartment here. Today is an editing day. Last couple days have been shoots. We've been in the art gallery, and then we have some apartment shoots and maybe a restaurant shoot later this week. But in the meantime, a couple days off, so I'm taking the opportunity to edit. And rather than driving back home with all my gear and then driving back up in a couple days, all I need to do is edit, have all my equipment here, so take advantage of that. I try to keep very quick turnaround times on wedding films because, you know, the couples, of course, no client wants to wait a long time for their project, but especially for wedding couples, most of these people haven't worked with filmmakers before, and so a 3-month deadline after their wedding for them to show their video to someone is a little bit, in my personal opinion, for where I'm at currently, I feel like that's a little bit long. So I've been doing 3-week limits, expectations, and it is tight. It forces me to work very fast. So at this point in my career, it's actually helped me to be a better editor. Eventually I might extend that out a little, but for the time being, 3 weeks means any downtime, any opportunity I have, gotta work on this. So speaking of which, I gotta get back to it. Only have a couple days to finish off these couple of films, and we'll get them sent out.